Note to self, get some exercise. Feels bad and you have to try, but as far as I can tell, that's how life goes. And note to self, don't let yourself worry quite as much. It'll end up fine enough, it always has up until now. And something else, you should think of other people a little more. You should have thought of that before, 'cause of everything you've written down. This is the first note that you wrote for someone else. Note to self. Note to self, keep choosing love, 'cause it's yours and wonderful, and forever is a long time to be sad. One more thing, call your mother back. Talk for too long, it's probably half of what she'd like, but she's the only mother that you have. Oh, don't let yourself worry quite as much. It'll end up fine enough, it always has up until now. And something else, you should think of other people a little more. You should have thought of that before, 'cause of everything you've written down. This is the first note that you wrote for someone else. Note to self.
Come into our house of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. Come in where we welcome the certain and the seeking, the long-timers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted. All of you can find a home here at Throop, where we go love the world from the heart of Pasadena and from the heart of our homes. Good morning to all of our friends joining us on live stream. This month, we are exploring the role of trust in our spiritual lives, and today we'll be looking at what it means to trust in having enough. In the last few months, we have been challenged to trust in government institutions that are supposed to be there for us. They're supposed to have our collective well-being right at the heart and center of it. Thank you, Naughty Pew, for laughing. You know, I was gone last week and I really missed you all. And of course, some things change and some things stay the same. The Naughty Pew right here, hello. And so as a part of our relationship and that trust, oh, Naughty Pew too, right there with Terry. Should we just do this instead of my announcement about our special event tonight? Our role in helping to engender our part of that trust is that tonight with the Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center, we're co-sponsoring an evening with Congresswoman Judy Chu, update from Washington. That will be at 7 p.m. You all are warmly invited and wanted to be in the pews tonight for her presentation, question and answer. And after that, there'll be a reception in Throop Hall. And we have several of our community partner organizations that will have information tables because we want to give people a chance to get their hands involved locally in our community and to find meaningful ways to show up and speak out and be a part of moving the world to a better place. And if you're new to Throop, we would love to stay in touch with you. There's an info card in the pew back in front of you, and you can fill that out, give it to an usher a little bit later in service, and someone will reach out to you about ways you can continue to be involved here. And each Sunday, we are reminded that each of us is a light in the world. And just take that in for a minute. Each one of you is a light in the world. And the flame from our chalice symbolizes and reflects that light.
Our time together in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with a flame from our candles of hope and witness. We pause this morning from the chaos of the world to reconnect with all that we hold sacred. Renewed in our faith, we pledge ourselves to love, compassion, and justice. We light a second candle to honor the people and ancestors whose lands we now occupy. The land under and around Throop is the unceded land of the Gabrielino Tongva Band of Mission Indian people. May this knowledge and awareness lead us into dismantling systems of supremacies and oppressions. We light a third candle, symbolizing our watershed, the Arroyo Seco. May their waters continue to nourish life in our communities. We take a moment of silence, holding all of these in our hearts.
And we continue to welcome each other into this sacred space by singing our opening hymn, We Would Be One, in the gray hymnal, number 318. And please rise and sing out as body and spirit allow.
We would be one as now we join in singing our hymn of love to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause of greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other to show to all a new community. We would be one in building for tomorrow, the nobler world than we have known today. We would be one in searching for that meaning which binds our hearts and points us on our way. As one we pledge ourselves to greatest service, with love and justice strive to make us free.
And turn to your neighbor and welcome them into worship.
I know. Yes. That's awesome. Yeah.
Can you check if the camera light underneath is on and connected?
Was it? Yeah, it looks like it. I turned it off and back on just in case, but yeah.
We would be one in building for tomorrow, a nobler world than we have known today. We would be one in searching for that meaning which binds our hearts and points us on our way. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service, with love and justice strive to make us free. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service, with love and justice strive to make us free.
Spring has arrived, and with it comes a renewed sense of hope and possibility. The scent of orange blossoms and pink jasmine float in through open windows, and the warming days stretch out a little more each week now, holding out the promise of healing our own hearts and healing the scarred earth, which is our beloved Altadena and northern Pasadena. At Throop, each week we share in a promise to our planet, our commitment for love and justice and an ever more beautiful and sustainable earth. And I invite you all to share that with me now. The words are in your order of worship. As members of the living beings on earth. Yeah, we are guided by our Unitarian Universalist principle of respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. With hearts filled with love for it, eyes nurtured by its beauty, and minds ruminating on ways to protect its sacred and scarce resources, we promise to nurture the well-being of all life and of the planet itself. It only took me being out of the pulpit 1 week. Hey!
The congregational response for today's responsive reading is, "We trust in a love that will not let us go." Be at peace. Live simply, gently, at home, in yourselves. Act justly. Speak justly. Remember the depth of your own compassion. Forget not your power in the days of your powerlessness. We trust in a love that will not let us go. Do not desire to be wealthier than your peers, and stint not your hand of charity. Practice forbearance. Speak the truth or speak not. Take care of yourselves as bodies, for you are a good gift. We trust in a love that will not let us go. Crave peace for all people in the world, beginning with yourselves, and live with the dream of that peace alive in your heart. We trust in a love that will not let us go.
Thank you, Nathan. And this morning, our Throop players bring us a story called Only a Visitor.
Once tourists from the United States were visiting Poland. They had heard about the famous Polish rabbi, Hafez Haim, and they received an invitation to visit him at his home. When the tourists arrived, they were surprised to see that the rabbi's home was only one simple room, filled with books. His only furniture was a table and a bench.
Rabbi, where's your furniture?
Where is yours?
But we are only tourists here.
So am I.
And each week, our young people engage in Kids Dig In, a program that helps them explore their faith and spirituality, and we sing them into that program. The words are in the order of worship.
For you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. For you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. Blessed be.
And our pondering this morning comes from Angela Herrera, and it's titled, I Use What I Have. I ran this morning surpassing a personal best. Past the bakery, with each inhalation, I tasted pastries, a cigarette, coffee with fat. I passed the firehouse and its strapping young things, ran up the hill thinking, get there, get there. Winked at the biker dude who thinks I run for him. Chasing my 6-foot shadow toward noon. Arriving home in a sweat, heart racing, I give thanks. There are limits to this body. Under 5 feet tall with shoes on, having borne 2 children and being nearly 40, it's too late for breakdancing. My love sets wine glasses out of reach, and I have to get a chair. I take pills. I use an inhaler. The list gets longer every year. But what exhilaration to use what you have and do what you can, to push it to the limit so you have to catch your breath. That seems like good advice for our bodies and for our lives.
When we woke up, the world was figured out. Beyond the beauty we've
dreamt about. This brilliant light's brighter than we've known, without our darkness to prove it so. Still we can't help but to examine it, to add our question marks to periods. At the foot of our bed we found an envelope. You're enough, you're enough, you're enough, you are enough. These little words, somehow they're changing us. You're enough, you're enough, you are enough. So we let our shadow fall away like dust. When we grew up, our shadows grew up too. But they're just old ghosts that we grow attached to. These tragic flaws that they hide the truth. That you're enough, you're enough, you're enough. I promise you're enough, you're enough, you're enough. I promise you're enough, you're enough, you're enough. I promise you. You're enough, you're enough, you're enough, you are enough. These little words, somehow they're changing us. You're enough, you're enough, you are enough. So we let our shadows fall away like dust. You're enough, you're enough, you are enough. These little words, somehow they're changing us. Let it go, you are enough. So we let our shadows fall away like dust.
We at Throop do a great job of using what we have and doing what we can. We are faithful stewards of the most precious resource you will ever find in here, and that resource is you all. You share your precious resources of time and talent and treasure so freely, and we see some of that on Sunday mornings. Thank you so much, Matthew and Malcolm. And there's so many ways that you all support the church outside of Sunday morning that often are invisible, but that are crucial to the ongoing ministries and programs of the church. And every Sunday, your resource of treasure that you give during the offering, it ensures that we're able to maintain our beautiful campus and fund our ministry programs. You're able to give a donation online. The ways to do that are in the order of worship, or you can give a gift here in the room as the offering plate comes by. And if you're a first-time visitor, we ask that you let the offering plate just go on down the pew. Thank you so much for supporting our life together. The morning offering will be gratefully received.
When we are singing, we are bound together. When we are sharing, we are free to be. Both in our singing and in our sharing, we are bringing change. We are making peace through times of trouble, through times of pain. We offer healing like a gentle
In a spirit of gratitude, we lift up our thanks for those supporting today's worship service. I'd like to thank Vahe, our live stream operator, Nathan, our lay reader, our Throop players, Ripley and Matthew and Taryn and Dave, who coordinated. I'd like to thank Faith with the children's program and Spencer, who is serving as our greeter and usher, and I think on your birthday. Yes! Oh, he's gonna come down the aisle for that. Tom, our coffee and conversation host, Malcolm and choir, for all the ways you lift up our hearts through your music. I'd like to thank Fillory for all of your administrative support and for thinking about things that would never, ever cross my mind that needed to be paid attention to. Thank you so much for that. As we pause in recognition for all the ways we support our Throop community life, I invite you to say the words of gratitude that are in the order of worship. With gratitude for the ministries of the church that hold us and embolden us to love the world, we bless our offering and the many gifts we share. Our centering hymn is filled with loving kindness. You'll find it in the teal hymnal, number 1031. And as we sing this hymn together, I invite you through each verse that we do to first really imagine filling yourself with that sense of loving kindness. And when we get to you, to hold in your heart someone in your life that needs this prayer of loving kindness. And when we get to we, imagine this collective we in a hurting world and yet a beautiful world. And let's really send our prayerful energy out to all of our community.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. Be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
And take a breath in, feeling your heart and mind and body filled with loving kindness. And breathe out a sense of love and wholeness. And as you take another gentle breath in, enjoying this moment of stillness, and breathe out, knowing that the world is always right on the edges of all we do, even our moments of stillness. And as we sit for a few moments, focused on our breath, on letting our heartbeats slow, our shoulders relax, call to mind what you need in your life right now that will help you feel that sense of wholeness and wellness. It might be a person or a companion animal. More space for creative thoughts, more time outside, or a space in which you can be your whole and holy self with no judgment and full of affirmation. And may each of us move ever closer to that sense of wholeness and being well. And for all that is our life, we give our thanks and praise. Amen. There's a restaurant in Los Angeles that has you order menu items in very particular ways. Instead of telling the server that you would like an order of buckwheat pancakes with blueberries on top, you look at the server and you say, "I am strong." You might feel a little awkward proclaiming to the server that "I am humble," but when you do, the server brings out an Indian curry bowl. "I am thriving" will bring you the soup of the day. And to receive the simple hummus toast, all you need to do is say, "I am enough." Oh, how cute is that for the hummus toast? I'm enough. So you have to know that when I go to this restaurant, I am so excited to place my order with these self-affirmations. I love it. And in a world that is so often topsy-turvy, and that right now has national rhetoric that seems to get worse week after week, that's harmful and scary, that goes against our shared Unitarian Universalist values, getting a chance to practice these positive mantras, even if it is only through ordering breakfast, well, that seems like a really good thing to me right now. This month in worship, we are exploring ways that we tend to our trust. And the very first Sunday of the month, we joined in a ritual that helped us rebuild some trust with aspects of our earth. And then we looked at ways that we trust our own story that lives within each of us. Last week, Ruli brought you a worship that helped you discover thank you. Yeah, trusting in transformation. And then today we explore trusting in a sense of enough. And in this age of climate collapse, we have a moral imperative, each one of us, to take a hard look at determining what for us constitutes enough. And as I thought about that restaurant's affirmations, I realized that I wanted to shift a little bit that hummus toast order, to shift it away from a focus on self and to my relationship with things in my life, so that instead of "I am enough," for it to be a reminder that I have enough. As Unitarian Universalists, we find grounding in the moral imperative to identify enough in our language of shared values. So we see that reflected in the value we share of interdependence. And in our definition, we include these phrases: that we covenant to protect Earth and all Earth's beings from exploitation, and we will create and nurture sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality, and justice. And we see that moral seriousness of enough also reflected in our shared value of equity. And in our definition, we include these phrases: we declare that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. And we covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and energy to build and sustain fully accessible and inclusive communities. And embedded within those values is the moral seriousness of enough. And this moral seriousness of people coming to understand that they have enough is found across religious traditions. About a decade ago, I became familiar with this religious concept called Sabbath economics. and Sabbath economics provides a way to think differently about the movement of money and goods and energy. Ched Myers is a Christian theologian who writes about this idea of a Sabbath economy and about our ability to determine when enough is truly enough. Myers writes that at the heart of a Sabbath economy lies a disruption of human attempts to control nature and maximize production. This goes against so much of what we see happening all around us. We need only to take a walk by most Southern California rivers to be reminded of our human need to control the flow of water by installing concrete beds. We need only to take a walk through almost any neighborhood to be reminded of our human desire to control our landscape, to sow lush green lawns that remind us of someplace else, lawns that have destroyed natural habitats and wildlife corridors. We need only to look at our own text threads and email chains and social media feeds to be reminded that we live in an age where business will find you at all hours of the day. Yeah, and they'll try to sell you any number of things that you actually didn't know you needed until you saw that text. I didn't know my cats needed that. We live in an age where our society prioritizes large quantities of cheap goods over fair pay and respectful treatment of workers. And you know what you and I say to that? What? We say enough is enough. Right? What did you say, Matthew? Okay. You can also say it that way. Whichever way you say it, we want to move forward in an entirely new way. We want to live into the aspiration of our Unitarian Universalist values that shout out that all of us and our whole earth, we deserve and have the right to flourish. This value and the belief that human life and prosperity are more important than productivity, that is alive and well here at Throop. We hear this echoed in our liturgical calendar that's inspired by the rhythms of nature. We find it in the ecofeminist spirituality that inspires many of our worship services. It is the grounding of the Transition Town movement, which led the design of our learning garden, which has hugged our building for over a decade. We know that we need to let go of business as usual to build networks of local resiliency and lean into trusting in enough. Right? We know this, but how do you even begin to go about it? How do we remember that exhilaration that comes by using what we have and doing what we can? The actions we take in our personal lives, the big ones, the smaller ones, they are all connected to larger political and social structures. And I know that right now, those political structures can feel insurmountable. They're not. Because these structures were created by people. They are maintained by people, and hello, y'all, we in here are the people, are we not? Every single day, we make small choices about what to buy, and then where to buy it, what to eat, where to bank, whether we will walk or bike or drive or take public transit, so many other choices, and all of it adds up to how much we are willing to participate in the economy of this dominating culture, or how much that we're going to participate in building up a new Sabbath economy that helps each one of us and all of our earth flourish. Our values become crystal clear when we analyze how we are spending our money and our time. And are we spending our money in ways that help further our deeply held values, our shared Unitarian Universalist values? If you feel like you have room to grow and learn in this area, my colleague, the Reverend Matthew Colwell from Knox Presbyterian Church, he's identified 7 indicators of how we contribute to an overall economy that we could shape into more of the Sabbath economy. And so these 7 indicators are giving, environmental and green living, surplus income, debt, simple living, solidarity, work, and Sabbath. And I encourage you over the next few weeks to analyze your own personal practices in these 7 areas and just find out what you learn about where you're putting your resources of time and treasure. And discover where you can make some small changes that will lead into more of your own living and working theology that helps create an abundant life for all. And so when you look at giving, are you directing a financial gift, one that's meaningful to you, to organizations that do affirm the flourishing of all life, places just like Throop Unitarian Universalist? When you look at the indicator of environment and green living, are you making choices that can lighten your footprint on Earth? There's so many things each one of us can do. I mean, you can decrease single-use plastics, opt for a plant-based meal, look at your own transit options. Surplus income. Now this one seems like maybe a little bit of a stretch for some folks, but the way I interpreted this indicator is how much surplus income do any of us really need in order to live an abundant life? What does it look like to work less in order to live more? The indicator of debt, paying down any debt you have, right? So less of your precious financial resources go to interest owed to big banks, and more of that resource can go into the things that you really care about. The indicator of simple living, the way I looked at that one is not rushing to add things to your online shopping cart just because someone texted you about an item you didn't know you needed and probably don't need at 3 a.m. Pause and assess, do I really need that gadget? Terry says she needs it. I'm not gonna judge. Pause and assess. And then this piece about solidarity, showing up alongside impacted communities and proclaiming our values in the world. One way you're going to be able to show up with solidarity right here with our Throop community is going to take place next Sunday after worship when we have our Trans Ally panel. I really want all of you to plan to stay after worship next Sunday. It's going to be a very important part of our Throop community life. Thank you, Malcolm, and others who are taking the lead on that. And then the 7th indicator was work and Sabbath. So being able to power down from your work life on a regular basis in a rhythm that you can come to count on, and really and truly prioritizing rest and recharge. You deserve that. Slowly and intentionally shifting your spending and consuming habits in these 7 areas can become a spiritual practice in and of itself. Acknowledging that there is enough in creation, there is enough for you, there's enough for me, there's enough for all of us. internalizing the notion that we have enough and shifting the ways that we utilize and think about our resources of money and time. I know that that can be really hard because we're fighting against this outside culture that wants us to do anything but that. And there have been times in my own life when I have felt overburdened by debt, which made it impossible to then give generously, which then led me to overwork and overcommitting, which led to a sense of overwhelm and not knowing, was I ever going to be able to make it out the other side? I did. But if you're in an overwhelming place right now, please know that you're not alone. And this congregation is here as a supportive community for you. We are here to say enough is enough of an economic system that demands more of us than is spiritually healthy and dehumanizes and diminishes all that we do have to offer. And we are here to say to one another that I am enough, and I have spiritual resources, and I am part of an amazing church community, and I believe in who I am and who we are together. We are going to keep on moving forward toward a world in which all of us and all creation flourishes with this abundant life. We are never turning back from that vision.
Congregation, we're going to sing a hymn that is not in your hymnal. It's questionably a hymn. But you're going to repeat after me or whoever else is singing a line, and that's how you're going to know what to sing. You all okay over there? So if I sing, we're going to keep on moving forward, you're going to come back with, keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back, never turning back. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back, never turning back.
Gonna keep on moving proudly.
Keep on moving proudly. Keep on moving proudly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on. Yes. Gonna keep on singing loudly. Keep on singing loudly. Keep on singing loudly. Never turning back, never turning back. And let's rise and sing out as body and spirits allow.
Gonna keep on loving boldly.
Keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Never turning back, never turning back.
Gonna reach across the borders.
Gonna reach across our borders. Reach across our borders. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Gonna end the occupations.
End the occupations. End the occupations. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back.
take a hand, reach out to someone near you in the room. The flames from our chalice and our candles are extinguished. We carry their light with us. Let us remain grounded in love as we reach toward justice and compassion in all aspects of our lives. I love you all. Go out and love the world. Amen and blessed be.
Amen.